It is 5:15 p.m. We have no public comments for posted agenda items today. I will now turn the floor over to Dr. Sonia Nizey, Chief Financial Officer and Deputy Superintendent for Operational Support, who will present a budget workshop.
Good evening. Tonight I'm going to be presenting information to you. This would be our third update of our development of the 2024-25 budget. And the most significant factor this year, of course, is the ending of ESSER funding that the district will be facing in September and absorbing a lot of those funds. Or those costs. The other significant factor that's happened is we've had a little bit of a slight reduction in our ADA. So not too much to be concerned about. It's been running this year between 0.5% to 0.75%, so less than a 1% decline. Also tonight, I'm going to talk to you again, remind you of the proposed compensation plan. The compensation plan is on the agenda for adoption later in tonight's meeting, but I will show you again the impact of the 3% general pay increase that's been recommended, and then also the next steps for the budget development for 24-25. Okay, so basically on this slide, a lot of this information has really been unchanged. Your average daily attendance, or ADA, that we are assuming has stayed the same from the last projection that we showed you. Property values, that's the amount that was supplied to the district by Harris County Appraisal District at the end of April as mandated by law. The number was a slight decline over prior years. But they do have a 5% margin of error, and what we've tended to notice is the information that we get from Harris County Appraisal District early doesn't always hold until we make it all the way through the summer months. A lot of that is just because of the tax base that we have here with the complexity of the commercial accounts. There will be an update to the property values that comes out in July as mandated, so that the district can adopt a maintenance and operations tax rate, which is based on a maximum compressed rate, again, that's required by the state of Texas. And so here is what the projected maintenance and operations tax rate will be. On the debt service rate, we have 0.2943. The debt rate that's here does not assume any sale of bonds from the 2024 bond referendum that was passed in May. We are working on getting ready to sell bonds, and once those decisions are finalized and the amount of the first bond sale is finalized and determined, which will probably happen somewhere in the September, maybe early October timeframe, that's when you would better be able to estimate what your debt service tax rate is. So just know that that debt service rate there is the current debt rate, and if the district sells bonds, that will not hold true for next year. The other information that here is the same, except for on the compensation modeling. That is just a slight change from our last projection, and again, it's still based on the 3% general pay increase, which the details of that are here. So we have all teachers and employees that are tied to teacher pay scale and ranges, all would have a 2% of the midpoint pay increase. That would be $1,350 for all returning teachers, and a starting teacher pay of $65,500. And again, here's just a recap of the cost. It's just a little over $4 million in order to adopt the range changes that would happen because of the adoption of the compensation plan and to implement those general pay increases. So when we look at this slide, this is the slide where we show you just overall the impact of the revenue and the expenditures for 24-25 that's projected. If the board were to adopt a budget right now tonight, this is what it would look like, which is an improvement over what we saw in May. And the revenue line items haven't seen much of a change there because we're really waiting on our final information that would come in from Harris County Appraisal District. And then we're also waiting for our final average daily attendance numbers that we don't generally get until the summertime. So those numbers are just now being finalized with PEEM submissions that the district is making. So you won't really have a good feel for those final numbers and how to project for next year until early August. Really, the changes here are more in the salaries and then the ESSER costs that we are absorbing. And so what we've been doing is really taking a good close look at the expenditure side. And we found a couple of items in there that we had projected early on that we thought the district was going to need to cover. And we've identified either alternate funding sources or projects that won't be undertaken. We also had a couple of duplicate costs, a couple of minor duplicate costs with our extra duty type of pay. And then again, our biggest challenge has been honestly is the absorption of ESSER. And so there's been, as we've moved the positions that were being funded from ESSER over to the general fund and trying to project forward and really nail down what those numbers are. Our HR department has one calculation and our budget staff has a different calculation, and they're working on reconciling those two numbers. And so what we have here is what the budget department is projecting. And so the deficit that we would project at this point is $9.5 million, which is better than where we were at our last meeting by about $2.4 million. So the reduction again is mainly attributable to compensation and duplicate cost. So moving forward, if I would learn how to do the clicker in the right direction instead of going backwards, I keep going backwards. It's counterintuitive. To go forwards, you push down. So anyway, it seems like to me you would push up, but that's not how it works. But anyway, the district will calculate its maximum compressed tax rate in July. Also in August, you will be required to hold a public hearing where you will discuss the proposed budget and the proposed tax rate. You will have board action late in August to adopt your general fund, your child nutrition, and your debt service budgets. Those are the three that require board approval for adoption. We'll get final tax roll receipts from Harris County Appraisal District, and then September 1st, campuses and departments can start using their budgets. And then tax rate adoption won't come until October or possibly early November, depending on what the district does with the upcoming bond sale. So does anyone have any questions for me at this time? Okay. See, I'm still going the wrong way. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nizzi. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 5:23 p.m. Session of the board will now be held on matters contained in the notice for this meeting as authorized by sections 551.001 through sections 551.084 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Should the board determine that any final action, final decision, or final vote be required with regard to any matter considered in such closed or executive meeting or session, then such final action, final decision, or final vote shall be at either this public meeting upon reconvening in a public meeting or at a subsequent public meeting of the board upon notice thereof, as the board shall determine. A closed and executive meeting of the board will now be held. The time is 5:26 p.m. Executive session is adjourned, and the board is now in open session. The time is 6 p.m. I will entertain motions on the items covered in executive session. Is there a motion to approve the employment of contractual personnel?
I, Norma Hernandez, move we approve the employment contractual personnel as presented.
I, Jose Jimenez, second that motion.
A motion was made by Norma Hernandez and seconded by Jose Jimenez. All in favor? Ramon, you in favor? I didn't see you. Sorry. The motion carried 7-0 with no abstentions. Is there a motion to elect Norma Hernandez for the office of President of the Galena Park ISD Board of Trustees for the 2024-2025 school year?
I, Adrian Stevens, move we approve to elect Norma Hernandez for the office of President as presented.
I, Amanda Arabia, second the motion.
A motion was made by Adrian Stevens and seconded by Amanda Arabia. All in favor? The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. Is there a motion to elect Ramon Garza for the office of Vice President of Galena Park ISD Board of Trustees for the 2024-2025 school year?
I, Norma Hernandez, move we approve to elect Ramon Garza for the office of Vice President as presented.
I, Adrian Stevens, second the motion.
A motion was made by Norma Hernandez and seconded by Adrian Stevens. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with no abstentions. Is there a motion to elect Linda Sherrod for the office of Secretary of the Galena Park ISD Board of Trustees for the 2024-2025 school year?
I,
Ramon
Jose
Garza, move we approve to elect Linda Sherrod for the office of Secretary as presented.
I, Jose Jimenez, second that motion.
A motion was made by Ramon Garza and seconded by Jose Jimenez. All in favor? The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. The Board of Trustees of Galena Park Independent School District is now convened in a regular board meeting on June 10th, 2024 in the Administration Building of Galena Park Independent School District, the address of which is 14705 Wood Forest Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77015. The time is 6:02 p.m. I want to welcome the members of our audience to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Galena Park ISD Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on tonight's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by Section 551.071 to Section 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in the Galena Park Independent School District. We have no public comments for posted agenda items today, and we do have public comments for non-agenda items today. Patrons who have duly registered per policy BED local may address the board regarding matters of concern or interest to the district, other than the character of any student, staff, or board member. I would like to remind the audience that the comments of the speakers reflect their own position and opinions. The board may not discuss or act upon any matter that is not listed under the action item portion of the agenda. Therefore, board members may not discuss comments of speakers. Please understand that a lack of response from board members does not indicate agreement or approval of the comments. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. The vice president of the board will be the designated timekeeper. Ms. Adrian Porras, will you please step up to the podium?
Hi, my name is Adrian Porras. I'm the manager for the TASB Energy Cooperative. The Energy Cooperative was created to provide an easier way to procure fuel and electricity for our member districts. Over the years, we have provided electricity contracts to over 200 school districts, including Galena Park. As a nonprofit organization, as part of TASB, we are board governed. Mr. Garza is a member of that board. And so over the years, we have accrued some funds. I like to say it because of some of the hard work that I have done. And so because of that, we have decided to give a one-time reimbursement or disbursement back to our members, of which Galena Park has been a long-time advocate and user of our energy program. So we're here today to present a check to Galena Park ISD for a total of $12,359 back to the schools.
I don't want to turn it, I don't want to ring it.
Thank you, Mr. Porras. Dr. John Moore, will you please step up to the podium?
So, President, as far as I'm going to do mine from right out here. You know, when you're superintendent of a school district our size, from time to time, employees come through, they come through your path, or they come through and you become friends with them, and they work here, and over time they become like family. And you get to know them very, very well. And their time comes to an end. And it's incredibly bittersweet. Incredibly bittersweet. And I stood in front of y'all last year, and I did this once when my own family member was retiring, and I've lived through that now, and I've seen the difficulty of leaving your family. It's tough. At the same time, there's a new horizon out there with some, the jitters again in your stomach about doing something new. So if you'll bear with me, I want to read something, and I read it every time we have a person on this stage retire. And I'm not sure it does justice to the work, but it does let everybody in here understand the heart that it takes to do this kind of work. There are heroes who walk among us, never looking for glory or praise. They don't seek recognition for their caring and thoughtful ways, living lives of deep commitment, providing for those they hold dear, steadfast with quiet strength through times of laughter and tears. You are people like that, the most selfless beings by far. So Sonia, Liz, and Miss Wanda Johnson, who's not here, we'd like to thank you for being the heroes you are. Ladies, would you please stand so we could recognize you? So on behalf of all of us, we're going to miss you more than you know. And we wish you nothing but the best. And, you know, our grill's pretty good. You can come eat lunch with us. I'll buy you a hamburger. So please don't be strangers. And with that, we also have a board member that I mentioned, Ms. Johnson, who's spent many, many years as a volunteer. By the way, newsflash, they don't get paid. So many, many years here, and she's not here tonight, but if we would also give her a round of applause, I think that would just be awesome.
Tonight's invocation will be presented by Jose Jimenez, and the pledges to the American and Texas flags will be led by the Board of Trustees. Oh, sorry. Ms. Stacy Childs, will you please step up to the podium? She's not present. Ms. Childs is not present. So tonight's invocation will be presented by Jose Jimenez, and the pledges to the American and Texas flags will be led by the Board of Trustees. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the pledges of allegiance to the flags.
Okay, please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to serve you. Thank you for the wonderful careers of those that are now starting a new opportunity in their lives. Thank you for the children that are coming to our schools, to the teachers, to the staff, to the administrators, to the bus drivers, to all the entire maintenance team that keeps our Galena Park ISD buildings and schools moving forward. We are here to serve you and do your best, and we hope that we make you proud every single day. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Good. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated. I would like to welcome Judge Joe Stevens, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3, who would administer the oath of office to re-elect incumbent for Position 1, Adrian Stevens, and with the assistance of Pastor Rob Morris, the ceremonial oath of office to newly elected trustees Amanda Arevia for Position 2, who was officially sworn in on May 14th, 2024.
All right, thank you so much. Ms. Stevens, come on up. And I know I just heard from the TASB Energy Cooperative. Are you all accepting residential customers? I'm sure there's about 100 people in here that would love to get a check back on their energy bill.
I know that's right.
So thank you very much to Dr. Moore, Galena Park ISD trustees, and the job that you guys do for our kids and our community. I know we just finished an election season, and I remember back in '09, I served on this board for 9 years, and the elections can get very contentious, and everybody's fighting. And by the grace of God, I ended up winning. And then after I won, I'm like, damn, what do I do now? I got to do the job now, right? So I called Buddy Wilson, who ran for the same position I did, and I said, Mr. Wilson, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Can I reach out to you from time to time to help me if I got any questions? He said, Joe, absolutely. I've seen the work you've done in the community. I got one bit of advice for you. He said, anytime you make a decision, always keep the kids in mind. Always keep the kids in mind. And this school district has done a fantastic job of that. That's why you never see us in the news unless it's for something good. We've had stalwart employees like the two that are retiring. Thank you guys so much. Y'all were here the entire time I served. I don't want to get emotional, but thank you guys for your service. With that being said, Ms. Stevens, raise your right hand and put your left hand on the Bible and repeat after me. I, Adrian Stevens, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee of Galena Park ISD, Position 1, State of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. And of this state. We should have practiced this last night. so help me God. Congratulations, trustee. Pastor Morris, come on up. For those of you that don't know, I remember being on the campaign trail and bugging the heck out of Pastor Morris, almost 20 years ago now. And one of the first things Pastor Morris told me, I think your grandfather was a judge, right? Yeah, absolutely. Well, trustee, please put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Amanda Arabia, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Galena Park ISD trustee, Position 2 of the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations, trustee.
I took it. I didn't know you related to Jamie. Yes, I love Jamie.
We will now move on to this evening's special recognition portion of the agenda. Dr. Moore, don't sit down.
Okay, so the month of June is here, and we have a few special recognitions. We'd like to thank for the people to actually showing up to be recognized in the summertime. Business goes on here at the administration building, so we occasionally have a few recognitions. It's a little harder to get our students here in the summertime. Obviously, we did the pledge without them. Normally, they run that for us. But once again, thanks everybody for spending a little time with us. It's great to see you. Last time I checked outside, it was hot. It's going to get hotter, and it's going to stay hotter for a long time. So maybe we can get out of our shorts in about November. So you can look forward to about 5 months of it. Anyway.
Good evening. Trustee Esparza, will you please assist with tonight's recognitions? Galena Park ISD would like to recognize the business operations, energy management, and purchasing departments for earning a rebate from the Texas Association of School Board Energy Cooperative. Will members of those departments please join us on stage as I call your name? Director of Energy Management and Utility Services, Zachary Thade. Assistant Superintendent of Operations, Mike McKay. Purchasing Buyer, Beatrice Martinez. Chief Financial Officer and Deputy Superintendent for Operational Support, Dr. Sonia Nizy. Senior Accounts Payable Clerk and Travel Specialist, Lisa O'Quinn. Director for Purchasing, Adrian Sloan. And the Secretary for the Department of Operations, Molly Walding. This team worked with the TASB Energy Cooperative to improve efficient operations that resulted in an excess revenue coming right back to Galena Park ISD in the form of a one-time disbursement. Thank you for your teamwork and fiscal attention to the district's needs. Galena Park ISD recognizes North Shore Senior High School student Johnny Dixon III for receiving the 2024 Student Heroes Award from the State Board of Education. Johnny, please join us on stage. Will Johnny's nominating teacher and North Shore Senior High School administrator, Mr. Briante Taylor, please also join Johnny on stage. The Student Heroes Program recognizes Texas public school students who do an outstanding volunteer service that benefits peers, school, or community, and our very own community has benefited from several of Johnny's service projects. Johnny, thank you for being an outstanding representative for the SBOE's District 4. Congratulations. Next, Galena Park ISD will recognize Galena Park High School Future Farmers of America senior Alyssa Silva. Alyssa, please join us on stage. Will the Director of Career and Technology, Toby Castro, Program Director for Career and Technology, Dr. Melissa Jensen, and Career and Technical Student Organization sponsors, Coy Kern and Patricia Alvarez, please join Alyssa on stage. Alyssa is the first GPISD student to ever advance to sale at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Market Lamb Show. Thousands of participants from around the nation attend the Houston Rodeo hoping to advance to sale at the auction. And we are proud to say Alyssa did just that. Congratulations, Alyssa. Next, Galena Park ISD recognizes North Shore Senior High School student James Temez and Jacob Tirina. Will the Director of Career and Technology, Toby Castro, Program Director for Career and Technology, Dr. Melissa Jensen, Career and Technical Student Organization sponsor, Ishmael Williams, and North Shore Senior High School Administrator Briante Taylor, please join these students on stage. These students advanced to and competed at the 2024 Texas Future Business Leaders of America State Leadership Conference in Galveston, Texas this April, and will also compete nationally in Florida. Congratulations to all the FBLA members of North Shore Senior High School. We are proud of you. And now, Galena Park ISD recognizes the Texas Art Education Association 2024 Visual Arts Scholastic Event winners who earned gold medallions as a result of their outstanding ratings. Please join us on stage when your name is called. From North Shore Senior High School, Cameron Centino and Yahida Leon Lara. Will there art teachers and school representatives please join them on stage as well? There were also 5 other students who received this accolade, and as Dr. Moore said, they couldn't join us in person, but they are joining us remotely. So congratulations to all of the students on your hard work. This concludes this evening's portion of the recognitions. Thank you.
Any board member may make a comment during this portion of the agenda without prior posting being required. Comment items may not pertain to the character of any student, staff, or board member and may not be discussed or deliberated upon at this time. Does anyone have a comment?
I just want to say happy summer and please be safe, especially with all this heat and stuff. So just be safe on the roads, be safe on vacation, enjoy the summer, and we're ready for the start of the new school year.
And I want to say congratulations, Adrian Stevens, for back on the board. Awesome. And I want to welcome Amanda Arabia. It's going to be good to have you. Thank you.
I want to give a special recognition to Noe Esparza for his year of service as our president. I know it's, thank you so much for your service.
And I just want to say thank you to Dr. Nizey as well as Ms. Layler. You will definitely be missed. I always felt you've been here since I've been serving as well, and you are definitely a part of the family, and you will definitely be missed.
We now come to the business portion of tonight's meeting. We invite and encourage you to stay for the remainder of the meeting. However, if you need to leave early, we understand, and this is a convenient time to do so. We appreciate your attendance. Please come again.
Yes, he was trying to get your attention.
We will now move on to new business. Is there a motion to approve the board resolution authorizing the district to pay employees for the missed workday or any work performed directly, mitigate the emergency closure on May 17th, 2024, May 20th, 2024 through May 21st, 2024 due to inclement weather conditions in accordance with the purpose and parameters outlined in the resolution?
I, Jose Jimenez, move we approve board resolution authorizing the district to pay employees for missed work days due to inclement weather as presented.
I, Adrian Stevens, second the motion.
A motion was made by Jose Jimenez and seconded by Adrian Stevens. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with no abstentions. With respect to the general consent agenda, do we want to move any item for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Norma Hernandez, move we approve the general consent agenda as presented.
I, Amanda Arabia, second the motion.
A motion was made by Norma Hernandez and seconded by Amanda Arabia. All in favor? The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. With respect to the construction consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Linda Sherrod, move we approve the financial consent agenda as presented. Construction?
Yeah, financial construction.
I, Ramon Garza, second the motion.
A motion was made by Linda Sherrod and seconded by Ramon Garza. All in favor? The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. With respect to the financial consent agenda, do we want to remove any item for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Norma Hernandez, move we approve the financial consent agenda as presented.
I, Ramon Garza, second the motion.
A motion was made by Norma Hernandez and seconded by Ramon Garza. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. The following documents were presented to the board for information. A, Dr. Sonia Nizey, Chief Financial Officer and Deputy Superintendent for Operational Support, presented number 1, Tax Collection Report for April 2024. Number 2, 2016 Bond Program Financial Report as of April 30th, 2024. And 3, 2016 Bond Program and Facilities Construction Update. B, Mrs. Elizabeth Layler, Deputy Superintendent for Educational Support and School Administration, presented number 1, Early Head Start to 2022 to 2023 Annual Report. 2, Early Head Start Policy Council Meeting Minutes from April 2024. And 3, Early Head Start Update and Fund 205 Expenditure Report Summary from April 2024. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 6:31 p.m.